Good morning. It's turned out nice again. Hey, how's it going, guys? You all right? I thought I'd come and make a cup of tea and have a quick word with you. I hope you had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. It was all right, actually. We had a good stream on here on Saturday night. Thanks to those of you that came along and took part. If you supported the stream on Saturday night, I am going to put your names into the video description below. I like to acknowledge people that support the channel. It probably won't be under this video, or it might be later, I don't know. But yeah, it was a good night. It was a late night. I honestly don't know what time we finished. I went to bed yesterday evening, Sunday evening, at about 6 o'clock for a lie down, and that was it. I slept right through, so it must have been a good night. We didn't do one the previous week, did we? So a little bit tipsy, I think. But it was a good night. There was no drama. Everyone was in a good mood, really, which is always nice. I will be recording the Cop Talk podcast today. There's a few things I want to talk to you about on there. I assume there'll be other things as well. If you follow the Dunk Knows Best podcast, I have recorded an episode of that today as well. So yeah, quite a chill day really. I got my toilet fixed, right? Yeah, my plumbing's all sorted. He came along, he fixed the toilet. He had to put one of them new things in. I think Martin might have mentioned that actually, what it needs, but I can't, guys. I don't have the patience for do-it-yourself stuff like that. I'm useless. Honestly, I wouldn't be. I couldn't put a shelf up. So he fixed the toilet. He fixed this sink that started leaking underneath, and he fixed a leak in the room behind in the sink. So €80, which I thought was good, and that included all the parts and things that he got for me. He came out yesterday morning, but there was nowhere open, to get the stuff. So he's a good lad. Bristol Rovers fan. We had a good chat about Liverpool. He's a very nice kid. I like him. So yeah, you can sleep tonight knowing that I can now use the taps and everything again and make me tea. So right, what should we talk about? That's beautiful. Two things. Mason Mount. I'm believing a lot of the stuff that's going on at the moment. We know that there's been proper interest in him since January. You'd have to look back on the videos in January when I mentioned the talks between his camp and Liverpool, or Liverpool third-party representatives, however you want to word it, to not get into trouble. And I think that was around week 3 of January or something like that. I'm commenting on it a lot at the moment recently because it's one of the questions that people keep asking about Mason Mount. My view is that if Chelsea offer him what he wants, he will stay at Chelsea, despite our strong interest in him. I'm not concerned about the other clubs that have been linked with him. The other day, loads of clubs were linked with him all in one day. That's just agent talk, in my opinion, putting pressure on people. I think that if he leaves Chelsea, I genuinely think he comes to us if the price is right. And, that's not a disclaimer or a get out, guys. It's common sense. There are so many different options available to us this summer. It always boils down to finances, but if you've got two similar players available and there's 10, 15, 20 million difference between them, you're going to go for the more economical sound deal or option, especially if that leaves some money behind that you can maybe put to something else. I think Mason Mount is ours if he leaves Chelsea and if the price is right. I genuinely have no concern with any other clubs. If he goes to another club and the click put out that Liverpool pulled out of the race to sign him, on this occasion I would believe it. Sometimes they do that and say, Liverpool ended their interest, and I think, you didn't. You just wouldn't pay the money because you're too tight, when they should pay the money. But we can't pay so much money for this particular player with his contract situation and whatever. So Mason Mount, there was something else I wanted to say to you. Yeah, so I do believe that Mason Mount is a target. I do. But it sounds like during those conversations between Chelsea and Liverpool, of which I think have ramped up a little bit in the last few days, it does sound like Liverpool are also inquiring about other players there as well, like fringe players or players out on loan. That's not uncommon, really. When a club sometimes makes an approach, they might ask about different players at the same time. You can imagine that with Brighton, can't you, for example, who let us down yesterday. Right, so that's one thing I wanted to mention was that. The other thing I wanted to mention to you today was to be very cautious of Bellingham claims. Now, one of the worst things from my point of view is when I see someone make a claim, which is a claim I might be making, or I might have that opinion, but I know they're chatting shit. I hate that, because you're basically saying, guys, I wouldn't believe that person. And then people say, but that's what you believe. He's saying what you, and I'm like, yeah, but I know he's making it up. And I'm not going to mention names, but there is an individual, a reasonably new name that started cropping up everywhere, that just chats shit, honestly. If you're on the members website, Cup Talk VIP members website, you know what I'm talking about. And the thing is, what happens is sometimes you'll see people with a high following maybe quoting certain people, and they maybe have a website or a blog as well. And I have seen this individual that, like, every time I remember and one of my members mention his name, I face palm and I go, look, guys, look, this is, and I've shown why I've got the opinions I have. But when the people I'm seeing promoting this individual are doing so because there is a financial connection that many of you guys won't understand or don't know. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I know everything, you don't know, because you just, why it's not your job to go fucking digging and stuff like that, is it? That's for me to do. And don't just assume that if someone's given airtime by someone that's got a website or a blog that, oh, they're not going to do that. If it benefits them financially, you've got to take that into consideration. And I have seen some claims made about Bellingham in the last 24 hours that are going against what everybody else is saying. And so people are obviously like, oh, this is good, nice one. Dunk said that as well, right? But just because I said it, don't mean I do not trust this individual. And I don't want to name names because I'm not in that. Just because these people, I might not trust them or I know they're chatting shit, it doesn't mean that they're maybe a bad person. And I don't want to hate on anybody, and I don't want anyone else to hate on anybody either. It's just best not to mention names. So I just want you to be cautious. If you've seen any claims made in the last 24 hours about Bellingham that are a little bit different, I don't want you to just think, oh, he knows what he's talking about. When it comes to Bellingham, my views, and I'm trying to do this every time his name comes up in conversation. I know I'm repeating myself to you guys that have been here a while, but you've got to remember we get new people to come onto the channel, and you'll check the comments and say, oh, I've just found your channel, I enjoy your content, blah, blah, blah. My opinion right now is I don't think there's a huge chance that we're going to sign Bellingham at the moment based on what we're hearing and stuff, right? But I wouldn't rule it out. So like you might have ruled it out and gone, no, that's it, dead. It's done. It's not gonna happen, Dung. I'm not at that stage, all right? I believe anything can happen in football, and I've seen it over the years. So I just think that when Joyce came out on the Tuesday after Easter weekend, and the headline was Liverpool cool interest in Bellingham. Sometimes I say Bellamy by mistake. And then overnight, that article headline was changed to Liverpool end interest, right? So it went from cool to end in interest. I cannot help but think that someone, somewhere, said, Paul, that's not good enough. We really need to distance ourselves from this situation. And I think because Borussia Dortmund are caught up in this, push for the Bundesliga title, that club cannot have Bellingham coming out giving interviews or indications or deciding about his future and all this. That club needs to focus on attack. If we were going neck and neck with our rivals in the Premier League, and we've got one of our players being linked with a move in the summer, it's like we'd be raging. We'd be like, right, you deal with that in the summer. We don't want to know about it now, right? And I think what's happening in Germany is I just wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool, because we know that Liverpool I don't want to use the word conspire, let's say work with Joyce, right? And he's not part of the clique, in my opinion. Ornstein, FSG, Boston, Joyce, Liverpool Football Club, senior management, right? Without naming names. I know who, in my opinion, but I don't like naming names. And obviously they cross over sometimes, and Joyce will do a bit to do with the Boston lot and the other way around. But I just can't help but think that the article that was put out by Joyce was Liverpool saying we're back in, we can't be seen to be interfering with that. This is, someone's maybe angry in Germany. I think a bit too much has come out really to do with meetings to do with Bellingham and Liverpool. And the people are probably saying, how is this getting out? Do you know what I mean? And I just think that you could imagine Borussia Dortmund being like, look, we know what's going on. This cannot happen, right? We're focused on this. And I think that Joyce, from time to time, they do a favour for the club and the club does a favour for them. That's how it works with the reporting. These are only my opinions. No one's said this to me or anything like that. You form your own opinions, right? You might completely disagree with me. There's nothing wrong with that. We're grown-ups around these parts, or supposedly. Maybe not on a Saturday night on here. But that's just my personal take on it. And I'm not one of these people that's so desperate to sign Jude Bellingham that I'm trying to convince myself for all of this. I'm not. Right now, I genuinely, I wouldn't be putting money on him joining us. But equally, if I was to go in my lounge and it said breaking news, Bellingham, in advanced talks with Liverpool, all right, maybe not at this particular moment because of what's happening in Germany, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up at Liverpool. I wouldn't. And that opinion might change, guys. Tonight, tomorrow, a couple of weeks from now, I might turn around to you and say, nah, not in a million years. I don't believe that we're out of the Bellingham situation. I just don't. And there are other factors that might change that opinion, because for something to happen with Bellingham, it has to happen early in the window, in my opinion. Liverpool can't faff around this summer holding such a sizable amount of money back. It would, if you think you're going to get Bellingham, it's going to happen early. It has to, in my opinion. And I also think if Liverpool put a deal for Gravenberch, I can't pronounce his name. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. Someone did educate me in the comments the other day when I was asking, but you know what I mean. I think he's ours if we want it. I think Liverpool are stacking potential deals. It's not uncommon, and what that means is Liverpool agree personal terms. They have a rough idea what the fee would be, and they can say we can put that over the line if we want to. I think that is your first summer signing if Liverpool decide to proceed with it. All right. Again, Wonga comes into it. But I think if you see that early on in the window, or deals similar to that early on in the window, I think that's a bad sign in terms of Bellingham. So it's going to be a really, really interesting summer, I think, for us, because if something happens, I'm going to be thinking, right, that affects that, or doesn't. Does that make sense, guys? So we'll go through the summer together. We know what we're doing. So Mason Mount, yeah, absolutely, but I still think that if Chelsea offer him what he wants, he stays. All right. There's been chatter today that they're maybe going to offer him try and get him to sign a couple of years or something like that. But he's a low earner in terms of the wages at that particular club, and he wants that improving. If Chelsea don't want him and the fee's acceptable to us, he's at Anfield, I think. Liverpool also inquiring about other players at that club, which you should look out for. And the Bellingham thing, please be cautious. Just be cautious. You should trust me on this one. If you're on the members website, go to the scouting department, and there's a Jude Bellingham. There is obviously a Jude Bellingham live thread on there, but I did comment on it this morning about this individual. And everyone makes you form your own opinions about who you want. That's not me to tell you, but when I look and think about my members and think, sometimes they maybe don't know about connections that these people have and why they're getting airtime somewhere, and I'm just protecting people. That's all. You think what you want. And Bellingham, I still wouldn't rule it out, guys. There you go. Just seeing that underneath. I don't like that, but what's that doing out? Picture's still there. I mean, what you know what I mean? I don't like stuff like that lying around. Why is that out? Is that plum hook? I don't know. Maybe he thought it was. That's it. In saying that, though, got a cheese grater and a whisk, so maybe someone's going to batter me to death. Okay. God likes to try, yeah. Remy's been destructive this morning. Look, I found him, he's chewing this, whatever. I don't know where he's got that from, but one, he's not impressed. So I took it off him and told him off, and 5 minutes later I found this in his kennel. So I don't know what he's been up to. Well, he's been up to chewing, I know that. So that's it, guys. You can turn off now. The rest of it's just waffle. Well, the first bit's probably waffle anyway. We're doing a stream on here on Wednesday, 6 o'clock. All right, Wednesday at 6 o'clock UK time. I'll be talking to you for a couple of hours before the game. Pre-match talk, if you like. We'll assess what's going on. We're doing the Cop Talk podcast today. I told you that. I did a long stream yesterday of about 2 hours, which is available to channel members on here. It was live to everybody at the time, but it's archived now. But it's still, if you're at home chilling or something, and you just want something to listen to. We went over a lot of things. It's about 2 hours long. If you are a channel member and you want to watch that, the information's in the video description below. It's only available to channel members on here, though. It's not on the members' website or anything. Unless someone specifically requests it, but I don't think that would be possible anyway, actually, because it was never intended for that. So just a lot of, the old streams, I tend to archive them, and members on here can access them. If it needed to be on the members' website, it would be on there. Next Saturday, I don't know if I'm going to do a stream next Saturday or not. I don't know. We'll see as the week progresses. I want to do some more streams during the week, really. So if you've got like a time when you think it would be good, I'd like to do more, I'd like to do an evening stream, but without a drink. Like Saturday's good, and we start off with the good intentions, and we talk a lot of Liverpool. But as the night goes on, we're just people just having community, just having a laugh and that, And we end up talking about everything. But I think it would be good to have a sit down sometimes in an evening and just have a chat. I mean, sometimes I do them in an afternoon, but I know a lot of you guys might be at college, universities, or work or things, and you miss out, So if you have any suggestions on when would be a good time, like Fridays, I like to do the comment reviews on a Friday, but then I'm supposed to be out with my mates on a Friday, so it can be a bit rushed. I'd be up for doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 o'clock or something like that, or Tuesday, Thursday, or every night during the week. I don't know. So if you've got any feedback on stuff like that, let me know. Obviously, I took a few days off last week. I didn't take time off. I was still working every day, but just not glued to my phone as much as usual. So if you've been in touch with me recently, if you've supported me in any way, shape or form, and you haven't heard from me, please email me. It's imperative. It's very, very important to me. dunk@coptalk.com. I am chasing up, I have been emailing people. I spent all weekend, really. It's amazing. You just down tools a little bit for a few days, and the amount of stuff that builds up in that time is mental. So I'm dealing with emails again today. So if if you supported the stream, if you're a channel member and you want one of my DKB postcards and that, please do email me, dunk@coptalk.com. And we'll get them sorted for you. In the channel description below, I like to list people that have supported Cop Talk TV. And if you support Cop Talk TV, I'll put your name in the video description for the whole year, then we'll reset it in January again, otherwise it will go on forever. I don't list the channel members in there, or the Cop Talk VIP members, because they change all the time. So anyone that's come along on a Saturday night, and bought me a drink or whatever, I'm going to list them in that section there. I do think there's a thanks button underneath the videos now. No one's tried it yet, so I don't even know if that works. The same principle. Anyone that supports the channel, I'm putting you in there. You see, I don't know, it's important to me, you know what I mean? I like that. I think that's all the cop talk guff you need to know about. Please do, you know, when I do these videos, like, these are just informal, just a quick cup of tea. I'll be back in my office in a minute. But, you know, if there's anything you've seen during the day or hasn't been addressed on cop talk somewhere, please do feel free to, you know, drop that in the comment section. I read all the comments. Sometimes you guys alert me to things that I hadn't seen, you know. And I like to see what everybody's saying, even if I don't have time for them, if that makes sense, because you can tell who the chances are. You see, there's someone that's quite prolific on Twitter, and I don't think you would call them an ITK. I don't think they fall into that category. But they're prolific and they're always promoting stuff to their own website. And it's full of ads, and I just think they're just deceiving everybody. I really do. And it's not a problem, you know, anyone, like, Cop Talk's got adverts on it, right? But not to the extent of some people. You know, you've got to pay for this shit, right? You know what I mean? Some of it depends what level you're at. I have to raise hundreds of pounds a month just to do this. The government want 300 a month off you before you even start. And then you've got your accountants and all. So you've got to make money. I ain't got a problem with that. But there's just some people out there that... There's one person in particular, and I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I want to go out there and, you know, like, I want to, like, say what I really feel, because I'm protecting you guys. Or trying to. But it just causes too much shit. It's not worth it. Maybe you lot are all aware of that anyway. Maybe you're not stupid. Because maybe it sounds like you. Well, not thick dunk. I know. I'm just looking out for you. That's all. You know what I mean? It just makes me roll my eyes sometimes. I don't know. I see the comments. Sometimes these people put stuff out, and then I read the comments, and people like. I might look at something and think that's utter nonsense, and you know it, right? And then you might see someone in comments going, really, is there a chance of that happening? And I think, poor little fuck, you know what I mean? It just upsets me, stuff like that. But equally, I saw something today on Twitter by what I would describe as a fan account. So they're not going to, I don't think that account in particular would want to mislead you, do you know what I mean? But they put out a rumour that had been quoted by the Spanish press today, right? And they're saying, you know, they say a claim, and who's making it? They're not making it. They're not making that claim, and it's a tweet, right? That's all they do. Say, oh, there's this rumour today, blah, 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 by said journalist. And there's people in the comments saying, why are you saying that when you know it's not? It's like, no, it don't work like that, guys. It don't work like that, you know? Because you might have heard that rumour somewhere today, and that fan account is trying to clear it up for you and say, well, actually, this is who's saying it, and then that's on you to decide whether it's true or not. So if I put something on Cop Talk, you know, I try to put opinion with it, going, well, I wouldn't really, you know, pay too much attention to that. But you can't act as what's true and what's not. You know, if you're I hate the word, but, you know, the term content creator, these content creators or these fan accounts or... You know, they're just saying what someone... Don't give them an hard time just because they're telling you what someone else is fucking saying. That's not right either. So, you know, there are people out there that will mislead you, but there are people out there that are just saying, look, we've heard this, and this is where it's coming from. You know, if I go on there today on Facebook or Twitter and say, well, I've heard this rumour's come from Madrid today, this is the newspaper, and people go, well, what are you putting it out for? You know, and it's like, well, so that you can make your own... If you don't agree with it, fine. I'm not, you know... I hate people like that, mate. They get right on my tits, they do. I really do. Can't stand. I'm sticking up for other people here. It's not me. They're right on my nerves, some people. And another thing is as well, you know, you can be a negative rumour, you know, and Cop Talk over here, we won't just pick and choose the good stuff. And if something comes out on a Friday night that's a little bit negative, I'm not going to sit there till Sunday, till Liverpool have played on Saturday, to tell people. You know, people go, I ain't putting that out. We've got a big important game tomorrow. It's like, oh, wind your neck in, you fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? We're putting it out because that's what's being claimed. You know, I can't just pick the good stuff out and say, guys, we're only going to, you know, focus on the nice things. Grow the fuck up, man. Can't be doing people like that. That's why I like Cop Talk, to be honest with you. The community we have, the people that reply to this video, for example, 99.9%, if not 100%, are all cool people. Do you know what I mean? They get it. We don't get many divs on here, to be honest with you. And I can assure you, when they do appear, they're gone. They're hidden forever. And certainly on the members' website, you don't get any of that nonsense, you know what I mean? We're very lucky on Cop Talk. I don't think you guys realise how lucky you are. We've got a good ship here, I think. And it's going all right. Right, I'm going to have to go and do some more work. I've got a new patron. Jack Hughes. Jack, he's a good lad. Jack Hughes, he's a good lad. Nice one. Thank you, Jack. That's the podcast, by the way. Yeah, I'll thank him for that shortly. Nice one. Alright then, guys. I don't think it's a very good video, to be honest with you, but I've given you a couple of pointers what to listen out for and who to ignore in this video, alright? I don't know if I'll be back today again. I don't know. We'll see. I've got a lot to do. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, please, if you enjoyed the video. And drop me a comment. Wednesday at 6 p.m. we'll be live. Wednesday 6 p.m. UK time. Come along before the match. I won't be doing a watch along, because when you watch the games, if you've delayed and you're celebrating a goal before everyone sees it or they see it, can't be doing with that. Who wants? You just want to watch the game, don't you? You know what I'm saying? But we'll have a chat 6 o'clock Wednesday night, right? I'll schedule it and then you can tick the bell so that it'll remind you. But if you've got any opinions on when you think would be a good time to host a regular slot where you go, it's Friday, it's 2 o'clock, Dunk will be live, or it's Wednesday at 6, it'll be live. I want that kind of environment for you guys. All right, I'll speak to you in a bit, guys, and thanks to those of you that do support me. I appreciate it.